I'm Anna.
I'm Sarah.
And we're doing a Top 5 Wednesday.
Together.
Today. And it's not Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
But tomorrow is. Anyways. This week's topic is the favorite banned books that you've read.
And Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey. And I should put away the book.
And the links are down below.
The links are down below.
We're as good as usual. So we have one book in common. As usual, the books are in no particular order.
The first book we both have is The Lord of the Flies by William Golding. For those of you who don't know, it's basically about a bunch of boys who get stranded on a desert island and it doesn't end well.
It's like about the social structure that develops there. It's boys between I think 8 and 12 years or something, so they're really small. And it's about civilization and what happens to people when they lose a civilization. Like in those cases, kids that lose their parents and they just go wild. So I can understand why it would be banned. Well, I can't understand because I don't understand why books would be banned in the first place. But if you're, I don't know. Yeah. If you don't have a very broad horizon, I can understand why you would ban this book. My second book is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Now this I just recently read this month, and it's about, well, how do I describe this? This is hard. It's about two kids, Jem and Scout Finch, that live in the south of the USA, like in the 1930s. And their father is a lawyer who defends a black man who is accused of having raped a white girl. So that's kind of the basic premise, but it's also about their childhood, about growing up, and about racism, obviously, and about the integrity of lawyers, and about so many things. And it's also very funny and adorable. It's so good.
My second book is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I hope you pronounce it. Yeah. I hope you pronounce it that way.
Never sure about that.
And it's a utopian, dystopian novel, which it's hard to describe the plot. It's just a very futuristic world where there's a lot of sex and a lot
people are basically controlled by happiness. Like they're kept happy, so they're kept not thinking.
Actually, I don't know if I really like this book or if I just like it as much as I like it because I read it after The Catcher in the Rye. We had to read both books for school and I just hated The Catcher in the Rye. Yeah. There's no book out there that I hate as much as The Catcher in the Rye. Honestly.
My next book is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I was so surprised to find that this was on the list. Like, who would ban this? Well, you said it was like, what was the reason that it was banned?
Some satanistic devotion, worshipping, something like that.
Satanistic worshipping? And yeah, whatever. But it's The Lord of the Rings. I love it. I grew up with this story and yeah, there's that.
My next book is the Historic Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman, and I can understand why this is banned, because there's a lot of stuff said about religion, or let's just say about the organization of the church that wouldn't be, well, people who are in the church, they wouldn't like this.
Okay. If we say we understand why something's banned, doesn't mean like we agree with it, just to like state that banning books is stupid.
We know the reason behind it. We know why it's banned. That might be a better word.
Next up, I have Persepolis by Marianne Satrapi, which I finished yesterday. It's a graphic novel. And it's an autobiography, so it's a true story about this girl that grew up in Iran, and she lived through the revolution and then through the Islamic regime and the war between Iran and Iraq. She went to Austria when she was 14 and lived here for 4 years, then went back, and yeah, it's awesome and sad.
My last book where I have absolutely no idea why this would have been banned is The Call of the Wild by Jack London. Seriously, it's an amazing book. And it's about a dog.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Oh. Has it always been so tiny?
Yeah.
Oh, I could read this.
And it's about the dog, basically. Well, okay, anyways, I love this book.
My last book is Animal Farm by George Orwell, which I don't really own. I also listened to the audiobook instead of reading it, and I think that's part of the reason why I loved it so much, apart from it being an amazing book. It was so beautifully narrated, like there's the songs and then you have the animal sounds, like the pigs screaming and everything. It was so well done. And also, it gripped me like from the first sentence, and I think it's such an important story and I could relate to it and I could talk about it for hours, but I won't.
So my last book is Witches by Roald Dahl, who is an amazing author, by the way. And it was one of the first books I ever read. It's really crazy, really strange. It's just about a boy and his grandmother who try to take down some witches who in turn try to turn all children into mice or rats. So
Okay.
it's really funny and really strange.
So that's it for our video today.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Like it if you liked it.
Don't dislike it if you didn't.
Just leave.
And comment down below, tell us your favorite banned books.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon.
We hope so.
Kiss, kiss.